Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today, the 17th of April. So 4150 is our line in the sand, and we spoke about it last week. I'm just gonna put it on to 4151 on my charts here, but if you go to the weekly, you'll see what I'm talking about. There is a massive area of support, and it has been a massive area of resistance. So there's been 3 rejections of this. And you can see there was 1, 2, well, let's call it 3, 4 times that we've tested it for support. And so from a resistance perspective, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. So three times we've rejected it. Pay close attention to the moving averages. We're still kind of flat in a bearish view, so I'm still ranging on the weekly. Oscillators are pointing up at the moment, so there is every indication that we're looking for a move higher. But what's worrying me is we are on this 4150 was kind of where we closed. We closed just above it, and it was the high of last week, as you can see there. So this is the level to be paying attention to today. We do want to be long, but on the 8th hour we've got resistance. We've got diversions here. So you can see price made a high, sort of high, then a higher high, whereas the oscillator is a high and a lower high. So that is diversions for a pullback. I obviously am looking for a much deeper pullback, but I would say that this level here is the next level of strength, which is 4081. Earnings season kicked off, and most of the banks that presented results on Friday was all positive. So I don't think there's much to read into that. Obviously, we've got a whole lot of earnings kicking off this week. So this week, next week, and the week after are probably the 3 big weeks, and then it sort of starts tapering off. But at the moment, if we drop to the 3-hour trend, is definitely the upside, but I think you need to treat this as a range. So we are now top of range. But the interesting thing that's been happening inside this range is we are forming a series of higher lows. You can see low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then we're being capped at that 4150 area. Now, if you drop down to the hour, Friday was just an absolute chaotic day. You can see it was flat, then it looked like we had a break, and then immediately at the close of the hour bar came back and took everybody out, me included. So I did take the break. Stop here, move my stop to entry as quick as possible. That's what I normally do. So got away with probably a 20-cent profit, but profit's profit, I suppose. End of the day, we didn't really come back to test structure, as you can see. But that's kind of the area that we came back to test. But look at all these areas that we ignored. Every single one of these tails we ignored, and then we came back to this tiny little bit of structure here. Over there, and almost in the middle of the range. So looking for opportunities today, I would argue, as we did, so just still on yesterday, on Friday, we did have a whole lot of gaps here, so obviously it was a warning that we needed to pay attention to those gaps. We do have a gap at the upside here. Have a look at that there. That bar closed there, it gapped down, so we've got a big gap there, but we've also got a gap to the downside here. Where is this? This is at 4106. So I would be cautious. Now, is this a break above this 4150 area? And you can see we're just hovering on it here, this level here. If I put it onto 4150, just do that. So that's kind of where we are hovering. So we did kind of close above it on Friday, and the big question here is it's now range for another move to the upside. So this is the next area of support. If this fails, and then you've got a gap to the downside and another gap to the downside. So there's also a possibility of dropping back down to 41. What's that? 4118. So for me, looking at the oscillators, they are separating, which is a fairly decent setup at the moment. Yeah, I'd be paying attention to this area. It's probably going to be a relatively quiet day until the earnings come out later this afternoon or this evening for us in European time zones. But I'd be paying attention to this area here. So again, there's high risk, high reward stuff though, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Break above the range, come back and test it, looking for an opportunity to be long with a tight stop. It's going to be about a 70 point, let's call it 70 point stop loss. If we do drop down to this area here, it's going to start being a wider stop because I'd want to be below the low of yesterday. Oh, sorry, low of Friday. So that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. I think we are treading water at the moment, but we are treading water with the view of breaking to the upside. And once we do break this 4150 properly and get above it and test it properly, I think we're in for a fairly decent trend, which is probably going to last a couple of days to a couple of weeks. So that's kind of the line in the sand that we have at the moment. So I'm looking to buy, just looking to buy off some decent structure. Not really too keen on just jumping in up here. And the other thing you need to bear in mind is that we're being extremely volatile above and below the moving averages pretty much Thursday and Friday. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that happen again. So a move down to the bottom and then a move up. So I think another telltale sign will be Forex. So we'll get to the Forex charts just now. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. It's either a break of this structure or I'm looking for support here. If that fails, then I'm looking again down at 41.20 or anywhere where there is a bit of structure. There's a bit of structure there. As soon as I see a pin bar, an inside bar, and engulfing bar on the level, and you can see here, double bottom, perfect double bottom, textbook, big engulfing bar, little pin bar, little bit of a rejection bar, and look at that, none of those candles close below that level. That would be an ideal setup to jump in for a long. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.